The Chicago Bears get revenge against the Commanders. They beat the Commanders and the referees by a score of 25-24 to go to 3-2 on the season and get their third win in a row because of a Jake Moody game-winning field goal. What a sentence I just spoke there. I would not have believed that a couple weeks ago. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears post-game reaction video, which I'll be doing after every single Bears game this year. And oh my goodness, man, I am absolutely buzzing after that game, okay? My pulse was racing throughout the last 2 minutes of this game. Honestly, the entire last half, my pulse was racing, mostly for bad reasons, because the referees were trying to fucking screw us in this game. I mean, some of the worst officiating I've ever seen. I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video, but the difference between the Ben Johnson Bears and the previous versions of the Chicago Bears is that the Ben Johnson Bears still will find a way to win the game. Last year's team does not win a game like this, or the Matt Nagy Bears for that matter, right? Like, most coaches in Bears history cannot find a way to pull out a win like this, a game in which the referees are completely against you, okay? There was call after call after call that was going against the Chicago Bears. It kind of reminded me of the 2021 game against the Steelers, also Monday Night Football, in which Tony Corrente robbed that game away from Justin Fields and the Bears. But the difference again was that the Bears still found a way to win the game. They kept on fighting, okay? They kept on, pushing on, and at the end, they got that fumble, Jaden Daniels fumbles, and we come away with the ball. Caleb and the offense go down the field. Jake Moody gets the game-winning field goal, which, by the way, man, hats off to Jake Moody. I know he missed a field goal. It got blocked because he kicked it way too low, but he made 4 field goals in this game, and the game winner, which I'll show you guys my reaction to the field goal right now.
The lights are on you, Jake Moody. Is that going for it, actually? Yeah!
But yeah, you can see I was losing it. Everybody in the room with me was also losing it, because these are games that us Bears fans are not accustomed to winning. We always find a way to lose close games like this, but Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are changing the culture here in Chicago, and that is the main takeaway I have from this game. It's a culture changer for the Chicago Bears. What has transpired in the last 2 weeks, it is culture and franchise changing for the Bears, because the Bears very easily could have been 0-2 in the last 2 weeks. They could have been a 1-4 football team, but instead, they're 3-2 with the winning record. They came away with a win on the road against a very good football team, a team that was number 1 in the NFL in rushing yards per game, a team that went to the NFC Championship game last year, and with all the calls going against you as well, it was an absolute gutsy win by Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, which, let me break down the game a little bit further, talking about the offense first of all. And look, guys, the star of the show on offense was DeAndre Swift by far. I've criticized this guy a lot in the past couple weeks, as you guys have seen in my videos. He had very low efficiency. He wasn't really getting yards after contact, but in this game, DeAndre Swift was a fucking monster, and I gotta apologize to DeAndre Swift for not respecting him enough, because, man, this was a hell of a performance. If I read you guys his numbers, he had 14 carries for 108 rushing yards, average of 7.7 yards per carry on the ground. And then through the air, he had 2 receptions for 67 yards and 1 receiving touchdown. He had that long of 55 in which he broke a tackle and waltzed in for the touchdown. That was a phenomenal play by DeAndre Swift. When this guy gets in space, he is really hard to tackle. So, I mean, hell of an effort by Swift. He kept on plowing through. He got a lot of yards after contact in this game as well, which he usually does not do. But the run blocking up front definitely helped him out big time as well, which shout out to the Canadian Eagle, Theo Benedict. Okay, Theo Benedict made an instant impact on the Chicago Bears ground game from the very beginning of this game. There were multiple instances in which he was moving guys up front in the run game. He was mauling guys and just playing really good in terms of run blocking, right? Even in pass protection, I thought Theo Benedict looked pretty damn good. I'd have to go back and watch the tape again, but for being basically a rookie, like he didn't really play last year at all, right? Because he got injured. So for being a rookie, being an undrafted guy, he looked like a starter out there against a playoff level team. So, I mean, what a find by Ryan Poles and the Bears coaching staff to get Theo Benedict in here for him to beat out Braxton Jones. I'm assuming he's going to be the starter at left tackle for the rest of the season. So, really love the story of Theo Benedict. I also saw on Twitter that he actually ate a live worm in a pregame speech before this game. So, I mean, he is an absolute psycho, but you need psychos on the offensive line. So I really love that, we got this dude from Canada out of nowhere, and he's turning into a pretty good player, pretty good tackle for the Chicago Bears. But yeah, the run game was incredible. That was one area in which I thought the Bears would not be successful in this game. That's why I picked the Bears to lose this game, actually, my prediction. I thought the Bears would not be able to run the football, but Kyle Monangai also had a couple carries. He had 19 rushing yards. DJ Moore had 10 rushing yards. Overall, the Bears had 145 rushing yards as a team, which is by far their most of the season, and that's why they could come away with a win like this against a good team on the road in the rain, in the conditions. You got to be able to run the football, and the Bears could run the football in this game, and that's a big reason on why they won. But switching over to talking about Caleb Williams and the passing attack. So if I read Caleb's numbers, he went 17 for 29 passing for 252 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 0 interceptions. He took 3 sacks, passer rating of 98.6. On the ground, Caleb had 4 carries for -2 yards, but he did have a rushing touchdown, the first touchdown of the game for the Chicago Bears, in which that was a fantastic block also by DeAndre Swift, which again, DeAndre Swift really earned my respect in this game for how good of a game he had. Probably his best game in a Chicago Bears uniform. But yeah, Caleb's numbers, they look pretty good passing. He did miss a couple guys, but there was also stuff taken away from him. Like he had a good throw to Colston Loveland, which got called off for offensive pass interference. He had a touchdown throw to Rome Odunze, which the refs took away for no reason at all. They claimed that Theo Benedict lined up offsides, but basically everybody agreed that that was a bullshit call, so they basically took away a touchdown from the Chicago Bears. Rome Odunze should have kept the streak going of scoring a touchdown in each game. The refs took that away from him. So Caleb's numbers could have been even better than they were, but the refs really ruined a lot of our opportunities. And, obviously Caleb wasn't perfect. Like, there were a couple plays in which, again, the accuracy may be a little bit off, but Caleb definitely played well enough to win this game. I mean, he scored 25 points on this offense against a team in the Commanders that gave other young quarterbacks some fits as of late. So overall, I'm pretty happy with Caleb. There's still room to grow for sure. He's not like fully set in this offense just yet. He's still going to get a lot better, but the current version of Caleb that we have, he's still pretty solid. Like, he can make a lot of big time throws. He has a very strong arm. Sometimes that arm, he's got to lay off the arm strength a little bit, like put a little bit more touch on that ball, because some of the balls he was just like rifling at guys, and it was kind of hard to catch those balls because he was just launching them at them. So maybe have a little bit better touch. But overall, like, I'm not going to complain about Caleb because I thought Caleb looked pretty solid for the most part. He definitely put the Bears in position to win this game. Talking about the receivers, so Luther Burden had 51 receiving yards. He made a handful of nifty plays. DJ Moore had 42 receiving yards. Odunze had 32. Monangai had 25. Olamide Zaccheaus had 24 receiving yards. He had a bad drop, though, that could have really cost the Bears. It was raining outside, so maybe the ball was slippery, but he has to have better hands in the situation. But yeah, overall, like, a pretty decent day by the Bears offense. They still left a lot on the table. Like, it could have been an even better day. They could have scored 30 plus, but again, the refs really held them back as well. So overall, I was happy with the day from the Bears offense, especially the fact that they could actually run the football. But talking about the Bears defense, man, to get 3 turnovers again is just big time stuff from the Bears defense, especially because Jaden Daniels has barely been turning the football over in his career. This year, he had 0 interceptions entering this game, but Jaquan Brisker got a fantastic pick in the first half in which he read that route perfectly. He read Jaden Daniels' eyes and pounced on that football. So fantastic playmaking by Jaquan Brisker there. We got a fumble forced against Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I think Montez Sweat was a guy to force that fumble out. And then, the last drive of the game, Jaden Daniels, he fumbles on the handoff to the running back, and that is a play in which it helps the Chicago Bears win the game. Okay, without these turnovers, the Bears would probably not win the last 2 games, right? The Bears have been so good in forcing these turnovers. And yes, the defense, it has its flaws. Like the pass rush is still pretty hit or miss. Sometimes we, are getting home to the quarterback, but other times, like the quarterback has a wide open pocket and there's busted coverages down the field. So the defense still has its concerns for sure. But the fact that they can force these turnovers is why the Bears are still winning football games, right? It's a very unique style of defense because I've really never seen anything like this where we either force a turnover or we allow a touchdown. There's no in between. We don't force punts, okay? You either score a touchdown or we turn the ball over on defense. So it's pretty fun to watch sometimes, but also infuriating because we are allowing big time plays sometimes easily. Like Jaden Daniels had a couple like wide open throws in which there was nobody even close to the guy and it was just easy yardage for Jaden. But in other instances, like our defense was pouncing on the ball and, the run defense was much better in this game. If you look at the Commanders, they had 124 rushing yards, so they still got a decent amount of yardage on the ground, but there were a couple drives in which the Bears were getting some penetration in the backfield. Andrew Billings had a couple nice plays. Montez Sweat had a couple nice plays against the run too. Some of the nickelbacks were coming in for the run support as well. So although the run defense wasn't elite or anything, to go in here against the number 1 rushing team in football and allow 124 rushing yards in a game in which, again, the referees are against you, like call after call after call is going the Commanders' favor. There was a phantom hands to the face against Nashawn Wright, which kept the drive going for the Commanders, in which they scored the first touchdown. So it was just like everything was working against the Bears defense, but they still found a way to come away with the 3 turnovers and do just good enough to win this game. Gervon Dexter had a pretty good game. He had 1.5 sacks in this one. Dominic Robinson also got credited with half a sack. So, we got a couple sacks against Jaden Daniels. We definitely still could have been better with not busting those coverages. And Nashawn Wright, sometimes he just has horrible moments, but he was a practice squad level player last year, right? So you can't really expect a whole lot out of him. I just hope Jalen Johnson comes back eventually, because when Jalen comes back, like this defense actually could be pretty damn solid. And also if we had another premium pass rusher, but regardless, at least we can force these turnovers. But yeah, leave your comments down below. What do you guys think about that win? Bears Nation is buzzing right now. If you guys went to this game, I hope you had a lot of fun. I heard the Let's Go Bears chants on the broadcast throughout this game at certain points. So shout out to you Bears fans that were loud and proud out there. And man, it's just such a fun time to be a Bears fan now, because I really feel like the Bears do have a shot to get that number 7 seed in the NFC. It's super early, obviously, but like because the Bears are on a 3-game winning streak and they have a game against the Saints coming up, which hopefully should be a winnable game, and they have a lot of winnable games coming up down the stretch, there is a world in which the Bears could make the playoffs. But let's take it one game at a time. Let's focus on the Saints next week and just getting better every single week, because this team is damn fun to watch and to root for. But leave your comments down below. Sleep well tonight, Chicago. As always, bear down.